Today I want to share how I recently planned a little solo work retreat to knock out some content creation. I know as local small business owners, it can be tough in the day-to-day to really get some deep focused time in that it takes to create a lot of our content and social media or any of these bigger marketing projects that we're working on. So that's why I wanted today to share this idea with you of a work retreat for the sole purpose of getting away and creating content for your local business. If you're new here, I'm Leslie Presnell and I'm a local marketing coach. I help local small business owners all over grow their local business, reach more people who live in their city, and bring in a steady stream of customers. So be sure to subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. So I recently decided to get away for a few days and head to New Orleans for a solo work retreat. I love my home office, but I can still go a little stir crazy sometimes. So I went just for the purpose of changing up my environment so I could get some creative juices flowing and knock out some content that I'd wanted to create that I was really struggling to fit into my weekly schedule. We get so in our routines that it can really be a challenge to squeeze in these bigger projects when they come up. So I love the idea of scheduling a few days away to really just clear my schedule and do some deep work inside my business. So when planning a work retreat, I came up with 5 ways to get the most bang for your buck and really be the most productive while you're away. So here we go. Here's how to effectively plan and execute your solo work retreat. Number 1, go alone for a few days. Of course, I know I could have had way more fun in New Orleans or anywhere with my husband, but that would have meant less actual working time for me. So since this stay was designed for work and to focus and create, I knew I had to go alone. So that meant no distractions for 3 days. The amount of time you choose to go is important. So think about how long do you think you'll be able to focus on your project? For me, I knew that if I could have 1 full day and then 2 half days, that'll be plenty of time without burning myself out. So I essentially stayed 2 nights, so 3 days. I'm in Baton Rouge and I just went to New Orleans, which is about an hour away from me. I stayed at a bed and breakfast called the Sully Mansion. So with going for 2 nights and with it being a pretty short drive for me, that gave me enough time to get to town, get settled, knock out some work that night. And then the next morning, right after breakfast, I got right to work. And then I worked all day with just a few breaks and then worked for about 2 hours the next morning before I left. And that was plenty of time and I got done what I needed. So choose a time frame that feels good to you with enough time to get something accomplished, but also not so long that it's gonna be hard to maintain that level of deep focus. So my second tip is to be intentional with what you work on. Before going on your work retreat, choose something specific that you're gonna work on and complete. So for me, I knew I had a certain amount of emails and scripts that I needed to write before my next launch of the Localpreneur Bootcamp. I went knowing the exact number of pieces of content I needed to create and the topics. So this kept me hyper-focused with an end goal in mind. All right, my third piece of advice is to choose an elevated space. So working in pretty spaces is a work retreat requirement for me. I want to be inspired by my space and where I am. I wanted to generate these elevated emotions and inspiration. So choose a location that has good views. So think about beaches, nature, mountains, cool street views. For my most recent retreat, like I said, I stayed at the Sully Mansion in New Orleans. This is a 3-story mansion in uptown New Orleans. It was built in the late 1800s and they've now converted it to a bed and breakfast. So the rooms are amazing with fireplaces and big windows, the wraparound porch, courtyard, garden. It's amazing. The architecture, the trees, all of it. It felt really fancy and it really truly was an elevated space. There were also a lot of options of places to sit and work throughout the mansion. So that brings me to another point, which is to consider a place that has a lot of seating options. To me, this is really important. If you're gonna be working here for a few days, you're gonna wanna switch up where you sit whenever you start to feel restless. So maybe this is having a table and a desk in a living area, a balcony. The Sully Mansion had a lot of different rooms to work in, including like my room, the dining room, the front porch. So choose a place where you can move around a little bit. Number 4 is to wear things that make you feel good. So since you're gonna be in this elevated space, you'll also want to elevate the way you dress. So this can generate those elevated emotions even more. I packed just some cute sundresses that were comfortable to work in, but still not like my standard work from home yoga pants. So just pick something that makes you feel good and that helps you really step into kind of this elevated self-concept and gets you excited to be creative. Number 5 is to pamper yourself. So plan to reward yourself for your hard work while you're there. I packed a face mask and some like fancier special occasion beauty products, and I was sure to squeeze in time for yoga and meditation. I also packed a good book that I could read at night. Scope out a local happy hour or a nicer restaurant that you could take yourself to after you are done working for the day. Just think of different ways to treat yourself in a way that feels good for you. For me, that's face mask, books, and wine. All right, so those are my 5 tips to create the perfect solo work retreat. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and be sure to join my email list where I share even more tips and strategies and coaching to help you grow your local business. Below this video, you will see the sign up link for my free guide, which is how to grow your local Instagram following. Be sure to grab that and I will see you in the next video.